In this video, we're going to talk about writing equations in point-slope form. So go ahead and pause the video, copy down your section title, your standards, and your I can statement, and we'll get started. So here's your formula for point-slope form. It's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And all you need to remember is that the x1 and the y1 is just a point, and your m is your slope. So that's why it's called point-slope form, because you'll be given a point and a slope. Now, we use this formula to move back and forth between slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, and standard form, which is ax plus by equals c. So we can move between all of these three formulas because they're all just different forms of each other. Now, using this formula is really easy because the first thing you do is you plug your point, which is your xy, and then you plug your m, which is your slope. You just plug those values in, and then you simplify to the form that you need. Okay, so let's get started on an example. For this first example, we're going to write an equation in point-slope form for the equation of a line that passes through negative 2, 0 and has a slope of negative 3, 2. So you're given your point, which is your negative 2, 0, that's your x and your y, and then you're given your slope, which is negative 3 over 2. So you just take those values and you plug them in. So you start with your formula, and then you start plugging in. So y minus your y value, which is 0, equals m, which is negative 3 over 2, times x minus, and then your x value, which is negative 2. Now all you have to do from here is simplify your signs. So the minus negatives, and you'll see those a lot, your minus negatives will always simplify to pluses, and so then your answer is y minus 0 equals negative 3 over 2 times x plus 2. And that's it. That's your point-slope formula. Okay? That's all you got to do. Okay, so let's try this one. Write the equation in point-slope form for a line that passes through 4, negative 3 and has a slope of negative 2. So go ahead and pause the video and give this one a try. So starting with your formula, you plug in your x, y, and m. So you have y minus negative 3 equals m, which is negative 2, times x minus 4. Remember that your minus negatives always change to plus, and then so your final answer is y plus 3 equals negative 2 times x minus 4. That's it. That's all you got to do. Okay, now let's do this one. In this example, you're already given your point-slope form and you're asked to move it into standard form. So here are your steps. First, you distribute. In this case, you're going to distribute your 2. Then you move the constant. And then last, you move your x value. Okay? Now remember, you can't have a leading coefficient that's negative. So if you end up moving the x to the left and it's negative, you're going to have to go through and change all your signs. So go ahead and distribute your 2. Okay? So that's going to be y minus 3 equals 2x plus 8. And then you're going to move your constant. So in this instance, our constant is 3, so we're going to add 3 to both sides. Okay, so think back to 2, 8 with literal equations where all we were doing was moving things around. That's all this is. So you have 2x plus 11, and then step number 3 is you move your x values. So notice right now that we are in slope-intercept form. So in order to get standard form, you got to get the x value on the left. So we are going to subtract 2x from both sides. And then that's going to leave us with negative 2x plus y equals 11. Notice that our leading coefficient is negative, that negative 2. So you have to go through and you have to change all your signs. So remember that we just divide everything by negative 1. And then so your final answer is 2x minus y equals negative 11. And that's it. You're finished. Standard form. All right, let's try another one. Now this one, you want to go to slope-intercept form. So point slope to slope-intercept. So if you're feeling a little brave, go ahead and pause and give this one a try. Now on this example, you want to go ahead and you want to distribute your 4/3 because those 3's are going to cancel. So when you do that, you've got y minus 5 equals 4/3 times x is 4/3 x. And then notice that your 3's cancel, leaving a 1 inside the parentheses. And then 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Now, all you do is move your constant because the 4/3 is your slope. So to get rid of the 5, you're going to add it to both sides. And then that's going to leave you with y equals 4/3 x plus 1. So that is slope-intercept form. You're finished. That's your answer. Okay? Let's do another one. Move this one. Now this one's in standard form, and they want you to move it into slope-intercept form. So go ahead and pause the video and give this one a try. All right, so in order to get the 3x on the right side, you need to subtract it. So we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. That's going to leave us with 2y equals, I'm going to put my negative 3 first because that's my slope. It's attached to the x, so I know that that's going to be part of my slope. And then now you need to get the y by itself, so you're going to go through and divide everything by 2. Now, don't think that you have messed up here because of that negative 3/2. Remember, that's your slope. So your final answer then is y equals negative 3/2 x plus 3. Okay? That's your slope-intercept form from standard. Next one. Okay, this is the last example, and this one's a bit of a challenge because I'm just giving you 2 points, so I'm adding in another step here. Now remember, when you're only given 2 points, you are supposed to first find the slope. So I'm pulling in the slope formula. So go ahead and pause the video, give this one a try. So when you use your slope formula, you're going to have negative 2 minus 6 over 1 minus negative 3. And then remember that your minus negative always changes to plus. So then when you simplify that down, you get negative 8 over 4, which reduces to negative 2. Now remember, that's your slope. Okay? Now, from here, you may not have realized what to do, but remember, you need a point and you need a slope. Well, I've given you 2 points, so all you do is pick one. So, if you picked the negative 3, 6, okay, then you're going to have y minus 6 equals m, which is negative 2, times x plus 3. Because that minus negative is going to change to a plus. Okay? If you picked negative 1, 2, then you're going to have y plus 2 equals negative 2 times x minus 1. Either one of those is correct. I will take either one, and I do not expect you to find both. You can if you want, but you don't have to. Okay, so that's it. Here's a copy of my notes. I separated everything out by color so that I knew which formula I was working with. So in the orange section, I went to point slope form. In the pink section, I went to standard form, and everything else I went to SlopeIntercept form. So make sure you bring your questions to class, and we will work on the assignment tomorrow. See you then.